Editing paths and anchors is a quick and easy way to modify existing shapes and to get the shapes that you're after. So I've got a set of basic shapes here that I created with the shape tool on the left, and I'm going to just show you some of the things that you can do to manipulate it and create something a little different. So firstly, just to navigate, I'm using Control plus to zoom in, Control minus to zoom out. And if I want to see the whole artboard at once, Control 0. So there's the whole artboard. And I do want to zoom in just a bit so the shapes are more visible. Now if I want to move around the artboard, if I hold down the space bar, it brings up this hand tool and I can drag my way around. So firstly, you need to understand that the selection tool, which is up here, and which I often obtain by holding down Control when I've got another tool up. I'll just show you. If I've got the shape tool, it's wanting to draw shapes all the time. But if I hold down Control with my pinky finger, I can move shapes with it at the same time. When a shape is highlighted or selected, you can actually see the path. So the path is that blue line running through it, and the anchors are those little nodes or those little boxes which are either filled in or empty. And so what happens is when we have the selection tool, we can move a whole shape, but we don't often want to move the whole shape. Sometimes we want to move part of the shape. So the next tool down is direct selection, which you can bring up with A on your keyboard, and I can select an anchor. Notice it's filled in and the other ones are hollow, and I can drag it. As I do that, the smart guides, which are these little green lines, are telling me whether it's lined up with the other parts. So the neat thing is I can grab individual anchors and shift them. Sometimes you'll actually grab a section. If you grab a section between two paths, I just click off to deselect and back on. If you grab the path in between, it will move two anchors. And if you drag over multiple anchors, it will highlight those and you can move them. So if you select an object and it's filled in the middle, I might use this shape here as an example. Zoom in, Control plus. So if I select this shape with direct selection, but I click in the middle, it highlights all the anchors, so it makes them all active. So I'm going to deselect. If I click between two anchors, that path there, it will edit those. And if I select one anchor itself, click once, and then I can drag and edit it. I'll make a little jewel shape. That's kind of neat. Now looking at that, I like the shape, but I decided that I want to rotate it. So there is a rotate tool over here. You can select the shape, click rotate, and it will allow you to pivot that shape. Notice it's not landing square every time, so if I hold down Shift, it will do it at 45-degree increments, which can be useful. Another thing to know about rotating tool is that if you click at a point that's not in the center, that becomes a new pivot point. So I want to pivot it from there and rotate, and as you can see, I've got quite a lot of control about where it ends up. Okay, just zooming out, Control minus. I'm going to fill this shape in, so I on my keyboard brings up the eyedropper. I want to grab that color, and I'm going to line it up with the square. Actually, I want a duplicate just in case I move these shapes again, so I'm holding down Alt and duplicating. So as you can see, when I have two overlapping shapes and I use the Pathfinder tool, which is Window, Pathfinder, and Divide, Object, Group, which I've demonstrated in another video, I end up with these parts of my shape, which can be really useful because I can make shapes that didn't exist before. But I might want to get just a quarter of a circle quickly, so I'm going to use some different tools to edit those anchors. I could use direct selection, which is A on my keyboard, or this icon over here. I could drag these anchors and then move the handles, but that can be a bit of fiddling around. So I'm just going to use the plus and minus keys on my keyboard, and they're found under here, these functions, add and delete anchor points. But if you get used to using the keyboard shortcut, the minus tool removes an anchor. So there goes that anchor. And next I want to use the direct selection tool, and I can edit these handles. But moving any one of these handles moves the whole shape. What I want to do is move just one end of that handle, and there is my half circle. I'm going to duplicate that one, and because I want to have an anchor here at the center point, and then remove minus this anchor here, I'm going to adjust the handle with A, which is my direct selection tool. I don't want to move both handles or both sides of the handle. I want to move just one side. Hold down Alt and line them up. As you can see, I was able to edit a whole circle down to a quarter of a circle. So just again, moving a whole shape, we use the selection tool itself. Direct selection tool enables us to edit particular anchors, and minus tool enables us to remove anchors. So you can see the anchors that I'm deleting there. And if I decide at some point to edit this shape again, I can add anchors. I'm going to put maybe a square section on the top, so I need 2 corners here and 2 on the top. Then I can go in and drag those out. So I hope you have a bit of fun editing those shapes. Oh, that looks like it needs rotating. I might just do that. And done.